Assalamu alaikum. You're watching AiM-Shafi and I'm Aashir Shafi. We're here because our forefathers were there. They, owning a significant chain, are an impact on the pages of history, left us owing a look after it. If we turn up the pages of humankind's history, we find Mesopotamia, Egypt, Indus Valley and China as the four earliest surviving civilizations in human history, and this makes our new series, The First Four. In this video, we'll be talking about Mesopotamia, the oldest of the first four. But before we go anywhere, let's first work out where Mesopotamia is. Mesopotamia is the region of Southwest Asia, just near the Middle East, in the northern part of the Fertile Crescent, where the Tigris-Euphrates system lies. It constitutes many modern areas of a country, Iraq. You can see its location on this map. Sumerians were the first people who inhabited Mesopotamia, particularly its southern part. These were West Asian people who spoke Sumerian, a non-Semitic language. The area they occupied is called Sumer. They are known to have lived there since the approximate start of human civilization. They grew in the knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, art, and many more. The wheel your car uses was in a somehow different form invented by these people. They were the first to write the language, also making Sumerian the first written language in the world. They divided the day into 12 parts and each part was 2 hours long. By this, they invented the technique of measuring time. They used sundials for the first time in human history. They also invented agriculture, Wikipedia says. They grew barley, chickpeas, lentils, wheat, dates, onions, garlic, lettuce, leeks, and mustard. Sumerians got much fish and hunted fowl and gazelle. Sumerians were more than creative, and what could represent it better than their architecture? The ziggurats have to do their job here. A ziggurat was a religious command and control center of a city. Every city-state had its own laws and government. The first dynasty of Uruk, Kish, etc. are exemplary ones. The main city-states were Eridu, Nippur, Lagash, Kish, and Uruk. It wasn't until 2334 before Christ that one of the great people living on the sidelines of Sumer, Akkadians, got the power and united Mesopotamia under one rule. And the first king of the Akkadian dynasty was Sargon of Akkad. During the Akkadian rule, the language Akkadian prevailed. Sargon's grandson, Naram-Sin, expanded the empire to the upper river and lower. He repeatedly invaded the neighboring kingdoms which were nascent. This created hatred among the people. Within 200 years of their rule, a decline followed. History missed how it collapsed. There might be more than one reason. Of course, two seem appropriate enough to be discussed here. One might be the Cushan invasion and the other climate change. Things had begun to change. Sumerian once again began to prevail and documents started to be written in it. But Akkadian had left a powerful influence over the people. Akkadian maintained its place, and by the end of 2000 BC, Akkadian restricted Sumerian to holy books, scriptures, ceremonials, and written material. Akkadian was spoken all over the area. The Cushan dynasty of Mesopotamia didn't get control over the whole Akkad. Some states like Lagash maintained their sovereignty. Kushans ruled for nearly a century, and their fall was marked by the renaissance of Sumer roughly after 3 centuries of subjection. The third dynasty of Ur was founded. It was Ur-Nammu who did this. During this period, Mesopotamia reached new levels of development. Under his son, Shulgi, the famous code of Ur-Nammu, that's the earliest written law code in the world, may have been devised. The year 3rd dynasty, after some years of prosperity, showed interest in expanding the empire. Military campaigns were launched in Elam, where the long-standing rivals of Sumerians, Elamites, were waiting for an opportunity to destroy this great land. History repeated itself, and the Elamites managed to sack Ur and capture the then king of Ur, Abisin. And the Sumerian control once again ended. Elamites ruled for 21 years. In the same course of time, the Amorites also showed interest in invading the great Mesopotamia. Nevertheless, Assyria, one of the city-states of Mesopotamia, remained free of the Amorite control until the early 2nd millennium BC. But one free state can dominate the other occupied territories, can it? Same happened. The Sumerian culture dominance ended forever. This end forced a new beginning, the beginning of the Assyrian Empire, which subsequently came to power after the foundation of Ashur was laid. Subsequently, another rivalry pattern in the history of the world was gonna be introduced. The world was gonna see a new age of enmity, discord, and dissension. What that was is famous throughout the history. The Assyrian Empire was brought into existence to fight with a young yet to be founded empire, and that happened when Babylonia was founded in 1894 BC by an Amorite prince named Samubum during the reign of Aashir I. The coming years saw lots of growth and development in the valley. The southern north of Mesopotamia was dominated by the Babylonian influence, whereas the northern tip was monopolized and helmed by Assyria. It wasn't such that Babylon bumped directly into the skies, but for over a century it was a very weak state, outweighed and surpassed by the already living empires of Assyria and Elam. It needed a brave ruler, and that was eventually gonna be the all-time famous King Hammurabi. He transformed Babylon into great power and gradually conquered Mesopotamia, ending the Assyrian rule in the north as well. He also devised the Code of Hammurabi, which was 3 centuries after the adaptation of the shortly revised Code of Ur-Nammu. But the days of prosperity were limited to 1.5 centuries after that of Hammurabi. Babylon once again became a small state. The first dynasty of Babylon ended, leaving the city-state empty and on the verge of the Hittite invasion. They couldn't rule it for long though, as they were usurped by the Kishites. They ruled for the course of 400 years. For the later half, the locals or the Babylonians felt the domination of Assyrians and Elamites. The Assyrians rose to power once again. The Hittites were restricted to their homelands in Asia Minor, but were soon swept out clean by the emerging Phrygians. The Assyrians faced a new neighbor, but luckily managed to defend Mesopotamia from their invasion. The time was passing, but the Assyrians this time had come to rule for long. They rose to such an extent that they conquered the 25th dynasty of Egypt, Chaldea, the long-lasting rebels, Elamites, Northern Arabia, Israel, Judah, Moab, Edom, Ethiopia, Nubia, Samaria, Cilicia, parts of Greece, and this list now ends. Babylon was ruled peacefully and was going through the golden age of Mesopotamia. What's believed is that this was because of the powerful Assyrian king Ashurbanipal. Cause after his death, the new Assyria lost once again. They managed to keep it till 605 BC, but their fall meant a good thing to Babylonia. The power was gonna be transferred to them for the first time after Hammurabi the Brave. They served the homeland till 539 BC when the neighboring Persian influence got over them. It also saw Parthian and Roman dominance. Christianity flourished here during the 1st and 3rd centuries after Christ. When Arabia was nourished by the Islamic teachings brought by Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, the Rashidun Caliphate conquered the Sassanid Persia and the Byzantine Empire. Mesopotamia witnessed another transfer of power to the Khalid bin Walid-led Rashidun army. This subsequently also dissolved the Asharian Empire completely, and from such dissolution on the hands of Muslims, Asharia never recovered. To this date, the Mesopotamian culture, if referred to as collectively, still survives. Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, writes, Asharians retain Eastern Rite Christianity, whereas the Mandeans retain their ancient Gnostic religion and the Mesopotamian Aramaic as a mother tongue and written script to this day. Among these people, the giving of traditional Mesopotamian names is still common.
This is enough for the oldest civilization, or Mesopotamia. In the next video, we will discuss about the second oldest, earliest civilizations in the world, that is the Egyptian civilizations. For now, Allah Hafiz, subscribe to our channel and like our video.